How you doing, folks? This is Ron Grovers from Ronsbeers. I got a beer to showcase today, as you can see. It's a Samuel Adams Christmas Ale. Old Fezziwig. Spicy and bold. This ale is brewed with cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel. This is one of their many Christmas beers this year. As I say, a lot of the companies brew their Christmas beers this time of the year, but Samuel Adams, or actually the real name of the company is the Boston Beer Company. We all call it Samuel Adams. They brew a number of Christmas beers, which is nice, and Thanksgiving beers and so forth. But let me talk a little bit about this beer. This is a spicy brown ale. The availability is limited. I don't know how far it goes out as far as distribution. It says limited, what they're saying. The hops in this, Hallertau, Mittelfrühe, I think that's how I'm pronouncing it right, Mittelfrühe, Tatang, and Tatanga. Those are all noble hops. Those are all German noble hops. It's the heritage of the Sam Adams beer owned by Jim Cook and the family. It goes back to Germany. The malts in this here are Samuel Adams 2-row, so something they perfected. Samuel Adams 2-row pale, a malt blend, I guess is what that is. That Samuel Adams 2-row pale. It's a malt blend that they've come up with. Munich 10 and chocolate malt. So we're going to get some chocolate, I guess, in this here. The special ingredients is, as we read on the bottom of the bottle. Orange peel, ginger, and cinnamon. Usually nutmeg is one of the things you see in a lot of the Christmas foods and beers and so forth. The color on this should be a mahogany brown. They have a rating, SRM, I don't know exactly how it goes, but they rate this at 38 on the colorization chart. This is a 5.9% ABV. And the international bitter units on this are 25. So that's not too bad. 25, a little more than I like. But with all those spices in the malts that they have, it'll blend in good. They have a calorie number on this. There's also 213 calories on this this fine-looking bottle of ale. The food pairings on something like this here, but they're suggesting sweet potatoes, butternut squash. I like butternut squash, and I do like sweet potatoes. Cranberry sauce, one of my favorites on any meal, cranberry sauce. And the big entrees now would be, with this, would be roasted lamb. Never cared for it. Turkey, love turkey. Duck, no, never had duck, never cared for it. Now the desserts on this would be apple pie, spice cake, carrot cake, I do like carrot cake, and gingerbread. Those would be the desserts they have with this fine beer. I mean, this beer is a spicy bold. This beer, it's really a festive ale. It's bursting with the flavors of the season. I mean, Christmas is in the air. Christmas is coming soon, and this is bursting with that festive feel with having this beer. It's got a full body and spice. So the spices are full with the body, making a flavor that's kind of, they're saying, bursting with flavors. Basically, with a full body and spice, it'll help those long winter nights pass more quickly. Yeah, I think anything with alcohol would. Really, the higher the ABV, the quicker it would pass. But anyways, back to the beer. The rich malt character creates notes of sweet toffee. Now, that'll be interesting. This is going to come out as far as the aroma toffee, a sweet toffee at that. Caramel and roasty chocolate, white classic holiday spices like cinnamon. So you're going to have, basically what they're saying on the aroma is sweet toffee, caramel, roasted chocolate, which I can understand, and the classic holiday spices like cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel. There will be also going across the tongue. You'll get those flavors across the tongue, bringing with them the celebrity and spirit of Christmas. So that sounds really good. Let's give you a little information on Jim Cook, the founder of Samuel Adams, or the Boston Beer Company. Jim was in college, and he actually left college for a bit. Really didn't know what he, I guess, wanted to do in life. But he went back. He went back because he needed to get an education. While he was in college, he didn't want to go through. I mean, it would have been into the beer industry. It would have been the first time in 150 years that a member of the family, particularly the eldest son, would not have gone into beer. He was turning his back on that. And I guess the family, for 150 years, the eldest son always held up making beer. And I guess naturally it had to be in Germany. But after college, he went back to college. He graduated. He did good. He also was thinking about going into beer. And always in the back of his mind. He did well in college, like I say. He went after college and graduate school. He did well in graduate school, too. He began a promising career in management consultant. And he did good at that. He did that for several years, but he was always keeping a constant eye on the beer business around him, what was going on in the United States, particularly when you had Catamount of Vermont and one of the beers out in, I think it's Washington or California, San Francisco, Anchor Beer. Everybody called it Anchor Steam because of their popularity with the Anchor Steam. But in 1984, after finding his great-great-grandfather, which was Louis Cook, his recipe, he brewed some beer in the kitchen. From that, he made batches and went around the city of Boston and suburbs, going out and giving all the taverns and bars and all the bartenders taste of the beer, trying the beer. And the majority of them enjoyed it. They liked it very much, and they wanted to have a homegrown beer. And with that said, he put it all together, and the Boston Beer Company was put together, and now we have Samuel Adams. So, with that said, let's not do any further. We know they have 2 breweries. They're doing good. They're doing very well, actually, very well. So let us, I'm anxious to try this. Get us a glass. We have a Samuel Adams Boston Lager glass. That was the first beer that he brewed was a lager, and he called it Boston Lager, which was the recipe from his great-great-grandfather. And he says, take pride in your beer. And his whole family did, and he did too. He followed that. The companies, I'm going to tell you something a little bit about the company that I know about, that in 2008 there was a big shortage of hops throughout the country. Might have been throughout quite a lot of the world, I don't know, but I know the United States really was hurting for hops. And the craft brewers couldn't get hops. So what Jim Cook and the company decided to do was give away 20,000 pounds of hops. They had a number of hops, and they weren't being stingy about it. And they picked a number of, I forget the number of, I think it was 150 craft brewers. He selected them, and sent out hops to those, just gave them the hops so they could stay afloat. And that's his competition, and this is what this man did. This is what America's about. Help your fellow American, and they'll help you. Because America goes by economy. Monopolies are no good, never has been. And having a business, a mom and pop store, or even something big as Narragansett or Schlitz or Budweiser, it's nice to go in on the shelf, see all the different types of things that you can buy, whether it's beer, clothes, shoes, food, just a loaf of bread. Nice seeing all types of brands in there. That's what I'm trying to get at. Nice seeing different brands. All right, with no further ado, get off that tangent. Get the bottle opener. Here we got my sons. My number 1 sons. All right, no further ado. Let's get this open. See if I can get my hands to be working. I'll get it off. It's coming, so is Christmas. If any water vapors come out, and then we get the glass. Give it a little aggressive pour. Give us a head on it. There we go. The glass is made for 12 ounces. That's nice. That's real nice. Okay. So, let's look at the beer. As expected, dark. Not a dark beer, I would call by any means. Put it down. Let's get the drone up. Amber head on it. Different size bubbles. They tend to look creamy on the edges. So, let's see what we can get for some aroma on this. So I'm getting, as I smell this, I'm getting a sweet smell. And it has to be from all of those hops that, it's caramel. And not familiar with the hops that they had talked about in this beer, the one that they had actually made or produced or somehow. I know the cinnamon and so forth would give some sense of sweetness, but I think it's the malts that they've used in here that are really giving a very sweet smell on this beer, or ale, I should say. All right, no further ado. Let's take a look at it. And I'm going to try it. The best way to do it is a taste test. Cheers. That is a good beer. That is a nice tasting beer. It's I can't pick up on the hops that are in this. And the hops are all the German noble hops, they call them in the package, the Hallertau. I can never Mittelfruhe, the Tatang and the Tatangas, but the malts is what I'm going after because I don't really know what the Samuel Adams, that two-row pale malt blend, the Munich 10 malt. Now I'm picking up on the chocolate malt. There's chocolate malt in this. The malts are giving this a sweet flavor to it. Even though there's 25 international bitter units, which should come out, the hop bitterness should, but it doesn't. It's well balanced in this beer, and it's stopping the beer from being too sweet. It's blending really good. I mean, the rich malt character that they've said of the sweet toffee, the caramel, and the roasted chocolate is what I'm talking about when I'm saying as far as the aroma, that sweetness, because we're talking about sweet toffee, caramel, and roasty chocolate that they're talking about. Excuse my gulping and my slurping and my lip smacking. But this is really good. I'm not really picking up on the cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel. Maybe because it's so blended in, it's making a new flavor. You know, it's just blended in so well. It's very tasty, very good, very good, very good ale. So I would get this again. Friends come over, I would definitely buy a case of this. This is a good Christmas beer, New Year's, and Fezziwig, I thank you. And we all know who Fezziwig was. He was the original owners of the accounting store. Remember in Christmas Carol, where Ebenezer Scrooge and Jacob Marley worked. Well, prior to them, Fezziwig owned that business, and excuse me, Ebenezer Scrooge worked under old Fezziwig, and old Fezziwig was a very kind and a generous man. And come Christmas time especially, he opened his doors, opened his heart, and was very generous with the people. Whereas Scrooge was just the opposite. And when time came, a guy named Jorkins wanted to buy the beer, and he kept telling old Fezziwig, you got to get modern. The times have changed. You can't be a little mom and pop store accountant anymore. You've got to go to the big businesses and make money. And old Fezziwig knew what would happen if he went big businesses. His small clients would be shut out in the cold, and he couldn't do that. Well, Jorkins got the money to buy out old Fezziwig, and he kept him on, and actually Ebenezer Scrooge and Jacob Marley, and he taught them to be shrewd and bad businessmen. Shrewd is one thing, but adding it to being bad and cheap and heartless is another thing. And we all know about Ebenezer Scrooge on Christmas night. Well, that was a story about Fezziwig. Fezziwig was the boss initially. So, with that said, Christmas is coming. Till then, enjoy the day, enjoy the family. Have fun shopping. I know people say, oh, shopping this, shopping that, but my wife loves to shop, and I love going with her, and makes her happy when she's shopping, and I like to be happy, and I like to see her happy. So, until Christmas, do things with your friends, enjoy the time, and have a Merry Christmas, folks, and a Happy New Year. Until I see you next time, ciao.